Hi folks, and welcome to another video. I hope this one finds you well. Got a Freeware Friday episode for you today, featuring the aircraft on thy screen. We're inside the hangar this morning as well. That's very cool. It's a Freeware Friday episode with a bit of extra value for you folks. You're going to get this aeroplane. Actually, you kind of get three aeroplanes in one. I'll explain more about that later. And we've got some really high quality Freeware scenery at the three airports that we're going to visit today. This one, where we begin inside the hangar, that's pretty cool. Our sort of intermediate point, where we're going to land in around about, I don't know, half an hour's time, up the road kind of thing. And then a really nice rendition of a pretty well-known airport here in Australia to finish off. So you're going to get a Freeware aircraft, or 3-in-1 Freeware aircraft, and then 3 Freeware sceneries. Everything will be linked in the description, folks. Don't say I don't give you value here on this channel. But the main focus really is this aircraft. This is the Cessna T206H by a guy that goes by the name of Sal 1800 over there on the .to. Now, this thing's just been updated. I've flown it a little bit, the previous version, and he's improved it since then. It was quite impressive actually, the first release that I flew, and it's got even better. So we're going to check that out today. As I mentioned, you get three aircraft in one. This is the Tundra version with the Alaskan bush wheels. There's kind of the standard tyre version, and there's also an amphibian, a float version. Now, we're not going to check out the float one in this video, but just know that it's there. We're going to fly I think we'll fly the Tundra. We might fly the Tundra and the standard. How about we do that? We'll swap after our first landing, I think. So the Cessna 206H, we'll have a look at the page. We'll go through it during the cruise, or one of the cruise portions of this flight. But known as the SUV of the skies, a sky truck you might call it. Yeah, it's a great utility aeroplane, and you will find aircraft like this in the location where we find ourselves this morning. So let me give you an idea about where that is. Alright, I'll try and make this flight plan segment fairly quick, folks. We're in Western Australia, the Great Red Desert, Western Australia, kind of in the heart of WA. We're going to begin our journey in a place called Laverton. As I mentioned, Freeware rendition, really high quality by a guy that you may be familiar with if you've been around for a little while. I featured his work on the channel before. Cool Guns is his tag, and he has done some absolutely stellar work here in Australia and in New Zealand as well. So check him out. There'll be a link to these airports in the description. We're going to go from Laverton 61 miles across to another one of his airports called Leonora, and then basically track the road heading south towards a little place called Kalgoorlie, or Cal as the locals call it. Interesting place, Cal. If you have the opportunity, pay him a visit, tell him I sent you. They'll be incredibly confused. But you'll enjoy yourself in Cal, folks. That's the journey. We'll land in Leonora, we'll swap to the standard tyre version, and we'll continue on to Cal. Probably take us about an hour and a half worth of flying time to do. Obviously the video will be much shorter than that for you though, folks. Let's jump inside the aircraft and have a little bit of a look at some of the features that you get. Actually, before we jump inside, let's just call attention to the fact that you can actually open the doors, the pilot's door and the door on the right as well. And you may notice that we're missing some seats, so you can configure the cabin as well, which is kind of cool. Let's jump inside. Now, this texturing, this panel looks better than the original version. He's done some work there. Now, there's a lot of flexibility here. There's a fantastic tablet that comes with this thing, and you can configure your panel as you prefer. I really like that. I don't remember that in the original version. It could have been there, I'm not sure, but I've just been sort of mucking around with it here in preparation for making this video. Yeah, so you can configure different instrument instrument setup. So for example, I can add a G3X GPS. If I click that, it throws it over here. So an extra bit of glass. I'm running with the PMS GTN 750, but I can quickly get rid of that. And what you see is a more old school digital radio and transponder stack. I can get rid of the transponder if I don't want a transponder, although it won't let me. No, yes it does. I can get rid of an autopilot if I want to fly it without an autopilot. I can get rid of comms. I can just go Nordo. I think as the cool kids call it, Nordo, no radio. If I wanted to. Actually, I want some of those things back. But let's put the GNS 530 in. Let's put a transponder in. Let's put a Cat 140 autopilot in, and let's get rid of that G3X thing. I can put an ADF in, can I? I can put it over on the right hand side. I can put another com nav over the other side. Look at that. I could be here all day, folks. So that's the instrument part of the panel. I'll just jump down here for you. This is the tablet. Handy. Engine that gives you some stats. You can reset the stress values. I'm guessing that he's built in stress. Yeah, stress value accumulates when you exceed limits. There you go, fella. Yeah, so it gives you some engine data. And here's your config. You can control the doors from here. You can also click the doors, the handles to close them and stuff. You can show your pilot and co-pilot. I've got my trusty companion King joining me, and I can even make myself visual Kingy. Oh, I get a bit weird there, but there I am. The younger version of myself. I like to do this from time to time, folks. Remember the good old days. Anyway, I'll get rid of myself. Oh, that gets difficult. You go inside my head. Yeah, it's pretty vacant. That's reflective of real life as well. I've got the seats removed, so if I jump back here and sort of pan around, you can see there's no seats, right? I can put the seats back in, so center left, if I can click that, it gives me a seat. I'm kind of floating here in the air. Yep, control that. You can put cargo in, remove seats to load cargo in these stations. I don't think I've actually got any cargo like loaded in my weight and balance setup thing. I might try and do that before we go flying and see if that actually animates in some way. It puts some, some representing some cargo objects. I can close all the doors. Bang, bang, and bang. Jump back outside, all the doors are closed. As I said, you can also click them that way. That's the window, that's the door. Right, pretty handy. I like it. Simple, functional, does the job. Beverage, where does it give me a beverage? I could really do with a bevy. Right now, IRL. I've got a beverage. Where's that? I don't know where that actually appears. Kingy. Can you tell me? Is it on your side, mate? Oh, there it is down there. Of course. There you go. Bevy. Get rid of that. An exterior dirt on the... Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so you can see that. That's pretty cool. I like that. Not overly done. Not overdone. Yeah. Not going to find too many pristine Cessna 206s, particularly out here in the Western Australia. So, anyway, folks, you get all of that stuff. I may have missed one or two things. I'll leave that where it is. Yeah. So, good customization ability. Love it. And, as I said, 3 aircraft in one, including an amphibian. The best part of all of this, folks, is that it's free. Let me get us started. It's pretty simple. And out onto a runway, and we're going to go flying. But before we do that, you may have heard me mention, I wonder what happens if you add weight into the cargo box in your weight and balance thing, setting up the flight. Well, what you're looking at on your screen is what happens, folks. I put 100 kilos worth of cargo into the box, remove the seats, and this appears. Looks like we've got a couple of plastic boxes of some sort, a suitcase, looks like a very secure suitcase, and we're going to transport some FedEx boxes. Hey, I like it. What a great aeroplane. And I come back to it, folks. It's free. Now let's go flying. But before we get airborne, I can't neglect just to give you a quick squiz at what Mr. Cool Guns has done with this airport. Fantastic. As I said, he's done work all over, well, this part of Australia and in New Zealand as well. My hat's off to you, sir. I very much enjoy your work. Show him some support, some love over there on the .to, folks. We have got a stiffy blowing today. That's got to be all of 20 knots plus. Looks like right across us as well. No need to worry about flaps here in the 206. We'll sort of, yeah, we don't need to backtrack here. We'll jump on to the runaway. What did I say? 20 something knots? Yeah, it wasn't far off. 26 knots, and it's pretty much all crosswind. Well, this could get very interesting. Very interesting indeed. All right, we'll give it a go, folks. We'll see how this thing handles. Hey, now we're 60 miles down to Leonora. Heading bugs aligned. Local barrow set. Cow flaps are open. Now you can control the cow flaps. They're down here. You link them to your spoiler axis. Now I can't. They're linked to my spoiler axis. I can't actually control them via the mouse because I've got them here on the toggle. So at the moment, cow flaps are open. If I do this, they're closed, right? I'm going to leave them fully open. Trim should be right. We'll get rid of that tablet just by clicking that. Fuel's on both. Yep, I've got very nervous rudder pedals, twitchy pedals. We'll go altitude reporting. Landing light for what it's worth. Strobies on. And we've got 23 knots across the nose. This could get very interesting, folks. Let's try it, hey? A lot of aileron into the breeze. Sounds pretty good too, this aeroplane. Here we go. I'm just going to slowly introduce the power. It's going to need a lot of left aileron and a lot of right boot. We're going to slip slide all over the strip here, folks, I reckon. Slowly bringing in that power. Wow, it's tough to control. We are going to try and rotate here. Actually, I did better than I thought we would. We're flying horribly out of balance. There we go. We're away, folks. Quite a shallow climb to get us started. There we go. Strong breeze in this part of the world this morning. We'll make a nice, easy kind of left-hand turn once we get to about 2,000 feet on the altimeter. You can also change your AH and the DG as well, and I'll show you that when we get into the cruise, folks. But there's 2,000 feet. We'll go to left turn. We'll bring back the juicy a tad just for noise abatement purposes. That's a strong breeze, up to 32 knots now. The birds are remarkably quiet during that takeoff. I thought they'd go off their nut with concern. She handles like you would expect it to handle. I'm really pleased with it, actually. I feel it's got a little bit of weight to it. It's not a particularly sort of agile bird. It's a real utility aeroplane. Alright, we'll kind of take up a track or heading of about 240. We'll intercept that magenta. We'll come back over the town of Laverton. It's sort of 240. I'll bring that heading bug around. Where's our heading bug? Heading bug? There's our heading bug. Climbing out at about 110 knots at the moment. If I go autopilot, I probably should set an altitude first. Let's go out at about, let's try and go out at 6.5. Why not? I arm that, what does it do? Autopilot on, and I go into nav hold. Should bank around to the right. We've intercepted the magenta. Vertical speed should hold. Yeah. 120 knots indicated. We're climbing out, yeah, a grand total of about 500 feet a minute, which is not great. We could do better than that with a bit of gas. Give it a bit more. 25 gallons an hour. Heading bugger line, 36 knots blowing across our nose. Crabbing it, aren't we? Why am I in black here? That's not what I want. This one is the view that I want. Menu, I don't want terrain like that. That's what I want. There we go. We really are not climbing very well. We are climbing very quickly in terms of our airspeed. So let me get some climb happening. There we go. I'll take an external for you folks. We're YOLOing it today over the red desert of WA. Shout out to all of my Western Australian viewers. Hope you guys are doing well over there. Beautiful part of the country for mine. Look at that. Look at that breeze drifting across. You can hear it as well. I think that's what I'm hearing, and not just the vacant space inside my head. There's the tundras. Looks the business, doesn't it? Hey, you enjoying this, Kingy? I bet you are. Especially since I'm not sitting next to you. You're flying, Kingy. Your aircraft, mate. Alright, so settled in the cruise. Overhead the red stuff at 6.5. There we go. Now my apologies if the sound quality in this video is even worse than it normally is. Difficult for me to sort of get it right. I'm actually enjoying the depth of the sound, a bit of bass happening, but it may be difficult to get the balance of my voiceover and the aircraft right. I'm not a professional sound engineer. This is a backyard operation, folks, so my apologies. I do try though. So we are doing about 130 knots, about 150 odd miles an hour. Our power settings are 30 on the manifold, and about, yeah, I can probably push it a little further on the old RPM on the prop. I want to go closer to sort of 20, 24, just gives us a little bit of extra speed. So we'll run with 30 and sort of 24-ish, and we're burning about, yeah, looks like about 19 gallons an hour, 6.5, leaned out, leaned out pretty nicely, I think. T's and P's, everything's in the green. Probably drop the cows, close the cows. Does that give us a couple of extra knots? Maybe. So we're tazzing. What are we tazzing? I'll just cheat here, folks. I'll go to this little thing. So we're tazzing at almost 150. I'm doing all right. That's not exactly a speed demon, but as I said, a good utility. Good utility aeroplane. 38 miles till we get to Leonora. Gonna enjoy some scenery here. Duck down there. Got a couple of views set up here, folks, for myself. If I duck down, there you go. Of course, from the rear, from the cabin. I think it does come with some view presets. What was the other thing I was going to show you? Change these instruments here. This could get interesting. We'll get rid of that and get rid of that, so we go blank. What can we put in? We'll put the G5. There you go. For those of you that like such things, we'll try and zoom in there for you. I actually prefer the true steam gauges, personally. But anyway, just know that you can do it. Let me get rid of those now. Gone. Analog. Old school for an old fella. That's how we do it. Yeah, I'll next see you for an approach into Leonora, and then during our second leg down to Cal, I'll have a look at the page on the .to and learn more about this aeroplane. Alright, almost there, folks. Leonora. We're going to be landing on the cross strip, which is runway 30, which I think will have us, well, I thought would have us pointing into the wind more than any other runway, but now I'm thinking possibly 04 might have been a better choice. Anyway, we're committed to 30, Kingy, aren't we? We like to live dangerously. This will kind of have us flying overhead the town. So we're 4.5 miles to go, intercepting the extended centre line of the runway out there in the distance. Switch back to this view. 3 miles to run now. We're probably looking at a dirt strip. We've got to be slightly to the left of track, mate. Or slightly right of track where we are at the moment. There's the town of Leonora in front of us, 12 o'clock. We should be skirting the kind of the southwestern side of it, from what I saw on the map. We'll get ourselves slowed down. 3 miles to run. I think that breeze is favouring 04. Airfield at 12 o'clock at this point, folks. You can see the main strip. Yeah, we're going to land on the red dirt. It's because we can. Now we get ourselves slowed right up here, Kingy. Got some flap to come. We get ourselves slowed down. I think we can take first stage out to about 140 knots. And we can take the rest when we get wide arcish. Here we go, runway 30 Leonora, folks. There's a big hole in the ground over there, isn't it? You know, about 70 knots on the approach, something like that. Now we get ourselves wide arc, fella. You know, 20 knots of crosswind here. I do enjoy a challenge. We'll take next stage of flap. We'll just leave flap there, I think. Righto, down through 80 knots. That's a nice wide runway for us. There we go. Short final runway 30 Leonora, folks. Nice old crosswind here for us. Not that juicy. Going to a bit of a flare. Do a little bit of wing down. And we're on. A little bit of aileron into the breeze. A little bit of left boot. We've done alright there, folks. We'll just cross 04. Braking slightly. Keep the aileron in. Keep flying the plane until you're stopped. Here we go, folks. I'm going to pull up there. Taxi back to the terminal, the hangar. I'm going to swap airframes. We'll go into the standard tyres. And then we're going to fly to Kalgoorlie. Alright, welcome to the second flight. We have changed variants. We're now flying the standard tyre variant in the Blue Wave livery. We are still YOLOing it. We've got some seats installed. We've removed the cargo and put the seats back in. King and I are still on board. I'm taking intersection departure here because we've got quite a strong breeze and we're pointing into it this time, which makes a nice change. So change the avionics fit out just because I can. You got the GN, what's it called? What's that thing called? GNC 430. GNC. Is that what it's supposed to be called? Okay. And then we've got the G5 digital stuff right in front of us. I'll just get that heading bug aligned. We've got quite a long journey ahead of us. Down to Cal, we are taking the direct route. Should we do this thing? Local barrow, landing lights, flaps we don't need to worry about. Everything else is good to go. Let's do it. Just going to hold the brakes. Full juicy comes in. Away we go. Release the brakes. We should be airborne well and truly before the end of the strip. Airspeed's alive. Not exactly accelerating well, are we? Expecting better than that. Trying to keep it straight. Having a little bit of trouble. There's 60 knots. And there's 70 or close enough to it. She'll want to go. Yep, she does. Only just. Geez, that performance is really rather sloppy. What would explain that? We're not climbing away well at all. What's happening, Kingy? Have we got an issue down here? We do have a major issue. That would explain it. Now, of course, a professional virtual pilot would have checked that before. Interestingly enough, my prop lever in the hardware side of things is actually fully forward. So I'm not sure what happened there. A bit of a disconnect between where the real lever is and where the virtual lever is. Let's come off that power. So if something feels wrong, it generally means something is wrong. Don't just barrel on and say, nah, she'll be right, mate. Even though that is the Australian way, isn't it? We'll continue our left-hand turn, kind of overhead the field, and then track down to the south towards Cal. There we go. Yeah, alright. Just come back on the juicy just to take some of the noise away. As much as I do enjoy the noise. There we go, overhead the field. Bring our heading bug around to there. We'll go autopilot from there. It will hold the vertical speed. Going to cruise down at 8.5. Folks, we are away. We say farewell to the good folks of Leonora, Western Australia, and soon say hello to the good folks of Kalgoorlie, Boulder, Western Australia. I'll see you during the cruise, and we'll explore the .to page for this aircraft. How's that for a vista, folks? Bloody gorgeous, isn't it? Sound a bit like old mate the Crocodile Hunter sometimes, don't I? Old, what's his name? Crocodile Hunter. Steve Irwin. Yeah, geez, don't we miss him? Quite the character he was. Been up to his joint a few times. I mean, his joint being Australia Zoo. I didn't actually get an invite around to his place for dinner. I wasn't on first name basis with him. Although most Australians, in fact most people who ever watched Steve Irwin probably felt they were on a first name basis with him. It was that sort of character. How the hell did this video turn into a reflection on the Crocodile Hunter? Folks, if you're new to the channel, I apologise. And if you've been around for a while, I can only say, I apologise. Anyway, folks, there's a beautiful view out here. Lovely, lovely part of the world, isn't it? It is for me, anyway. I love this sort of stuff. Something I enjoyed. I didn't get to fly in this part of Western Australia, IRL, but I love just taking a lighty up, cruising on a beautiful day and just taking in the vista. One of the things I really enjoyed. That would be Lake, I think this is Lake Marmion here? I think that's Marmion, or is that Rebecca? Is that Marmion? I can't quite remember. Someone will know. Anyway, let's have a look at the .to page for this aircraft. And here we are, folks. The Cessna T206H by our friend Sal 1800. This is the .to page even. Rated 4.81. For mine, if this is not the best bit of freeware available for this sim, freeware aircraft available for this sim, it's got to be bloody close to the top. Definitely in my top three. I can't think of anything better. I'm really enjoying it. Hats off to the developer of this one. Thank you so much for making it available to the community. And this series that I do called Freeware Friday, that may or may not be released on a Friday, is really my way of showing appreciation and hopefully getting it in front of more people to enjoy your work. So the Cessna T206H, some nice photos there. As I mentioned, but didn't feature in this video, it does come with an amphib version. Yeah, so it's the early 2000s model T06H that the developer has modelled here. 300 horses up front, seating for 6 passengers and a useful load of 600 kilos. You'll have the capacity for all your needs. 3.5 hours worth of cruise and the capability to use smaller fields. Experience the flexibility and fun of flying the T206H, the true SUV of the skies. Fun and flexibility, absolutely, is what you'll find in this rendition of the aircraft. So yeah, it comes with a whole lot of stuff. I'm not going to read out every one of it, folks. There will be a link to this page in the description, but the developer really has done some good shit here. Very impressed. I quite like the first version, and this version takes it to another level again. So he's got some stats in there around takeoff performance, cruise, landing performance, all that sort of stuff. For those of you interested in such things. Not the fastest G8 cruiser, expect about 120 knots. I'm finding them getting a little bit more than that. Yeah, but there you go, folks. The .to page, the Cessna T206H by Sal 1800. Thank you again, sir. I'll next see you closer to our destination. Alright, on descent at this time, down through about 5,000, folks. Kalgoorlie Boulder appears before us. This will be the main drag into Cal. This will be the Goldfields Highway, I think it's called. We're going to set ourselves up, the field is here, we're going to set ourselves up for a left circuit down onto runway 36. 2 strips here in Cal, north, south, east, west. Funny how it works like that. Airport designers. Yeah, we'll land runway 36. Looks like a decent northerly breeze is blowing, so we'll try and land into it this time around. Thoroughly enjoyable flight. Probably haven't done the aircraft justice, but I've enjoyed myself, and forgive the mistakes, folks. If you come into any of my videos with fairly low expectations, you'll never be disappointed. That's how it works. Anyway, I'll see you for the final approach, runway 36. And we've arrived into the circuit here at Cal, folks. Dirty big hole in the ground. You see that quite a lot in this part of the country. In fact, all over the country we've got big holes in the ground. It's what we do best, I think, Australians. Well, Australia as a nation, it's certainly we've earned a lot of money from digging up our dirt and shipping it OS. Anyway, now there's 1129, the big runway. We're going to land 36. Probably feels like we're a little bit high in the circuit here, Kingy. Down through 24. We're okay. We've slowed down right enough. We do have a northerly breeze blowing. Try and make this a fairly tightish circuit. We'll take flat. We'll get ourselves down. Drop all the juicy. There we go, folks. Try and make this a respectable touchdown. Into the wind this time, just for something different. Nice change. I'm sure I've made plenty of mistakes on this flight, folks. If I actually bothered to watch my own videos, I'd probably realise I've made more than I realise at this time. What are we doing here? Yeah, we're going to get we're getting a little bit out of sorts here with our views and that sort of stuff. We're getting a little slow. There's the field. Got that bloody big bit of airframe in front of me. Or window frame anyway. Where's 36? There's 36. Fly through the extended centre line just a tad maybe. We're okay. Wide arc. Take next stage of flap. We're high, but we're good here, folks. They're nice. Big town, isn't it? Birds start to get nervous. right on cue. It must be something in the pitch change of the sound. I don't know. I'll take full flap here. Final checks here, folks. Our fingers are crossed, our sphincter's tight, our gear is down, and our flaps are set. 70 knots indicated. Runway 36, Kalgoorlie. And the dog starts to get nervous as well. Here we go. Runway, the wind straight down the strip. Going to be a noisy arrival. Oh, we bounced it as well. Bounced it twice. Well, it felt like we bounced it twice. Not sure that we did. Just held the nose up. We should slow up pretty bloody quickly. Should be able to get off at this next taxiway. I feel like we bounced it twice, but maybe we didn't. As I said, if I actually watch my own videos, I could be sure of how many bounces we did. Anyway, we're going to make our way over to the terminal. Nice bit of Freeware scenery here. Mr. Cool Guns. There'll be a link to all of the scenery and this fantastic Freeware aircraft, folks, in the description of this video. Thank you for your company in another video. Until we next meet, you stay well, enjoy your simming, and bye for now.